Okay, hello there. I am Steve Keefe. I'm the broker owner of Coldwell Skyward Realty located here in Lake Arrowhead, California. We service the mountain communities from Crestline Lake Gregory all the way up through Big Bear. And the topic of my talk this morning is why buyers need a local agent, the 8 reasons why you want a local mountain agent on your side. So this is specifically geared or directed towards the buyer side of the transaction. There's equally important reasons why a seller should list with a local person, which I will do a part 2 to this presentation at some point in the future. But I wanted to kind of go over those 8 things. Um, just a quick story. Over the weekend, I had a buyer inquire about one of my listings. I asked if they were represented, and they responded, yes, my cousin in Tustin is going to help me buy the house. And my question back to him would be, well, that's great. I'm glad your cousin's going to help you, but has your cousin ever represented a mountain property before? Because things are different in different areas. I'm going to be talking specifically about our mountains, but this applies to Huntington Beach or Tustin or anywhere else. I am extremely experienced, over 30 years in the industry. I have a lot of transactions under my belt, supervise some very top agents. But if I was faced with a situation where someone asked me to list a property in Tustin or some other area that I am not familiar with, that I'm not part of that community, I would be doing that person a disservice. There are important reasons why having a local agent is important and powerful for a buyer or a seller in any transaction. So the 8 reasons why you want a local agent is first, local market knowledge. Second, greater access to local listings. Third, the ability to identify red flags. Fourth, ease in coordinating showings. Fifth, stronger negotiating power. Sixth, access to local professionals. 7, community insight. And last but not least, lower risk of misinformation and risk management. You get into a transaction as a buyer, and if your person is not clued in, and we'll talk a little bit more about that as we get there. So the first thing is local market knowledge. A local mountain realtor will have detailed insights into area trends, property values, and local market nuances that reduces the buyer's risk of overpaying or missing out on the right property. I can't tell you how many times where I see a property go under contract or actually close escrow, and I take a look at it and I'm like, oh my gosh, that thing really sold for a number well over market value. And I can tell you in almost every instance that that happens, it's a buyer that was represented by someone that was out of the area, out of the market, that really didn't understand the market nuances. And unfortunately, that buyer lost out because the person that they relied on did not have the appropriate knowledge to help them get the best deal on the property. Greater access to local listings. The local mountain realtor is immersed in the market right here, right now. They hear things, they see things that could be missed opportunities for buyers using an agent that is not as connected in the local market and is not connected to local agents. So they're not in the know. They're not, and sometimes it'll work out okay for a buyer, but oftentimes the best deals and the things that a buyer could capitalize on is things that sort of just pop up that someone who's in the market, they're not waiting for it to come on the MLS, but they're actually, kind of they get pre-knowledge sometimes. They are the first to know the local agent. So buyer using a local person is going to end up having more opportunities. Ability to identify red flags. This is a big one. A local mountain realtor has knowledge that is critical in identifying potential red flags that may not be immediately apparent to someone less familiar with the area. Having an agent who's on top of local issues can save a lot of headaches and dollars in the future. Having someone who understands the water companies, and everything else that's involved with buying something here in the mountains, access roads, et cetera, is a huge advantage for buyers so that they at least know what they're getting into. Surprises after the fact because someone didn't know what the actual situation was. Locals have that knowledge and they can help that buyer understand what they're getting into so there aren't any surprises in the end, which can cost them money and other issues. Ease in coordinating showings. A local mountain realtor being in the area helps prevent missed opportunities. A buyer has a better chance of getting the right property if they're in a position to respond and react quickly. Someone who's 2 hours away, so a local mountain agent will facilitate what someone 2 hours away can't. Someone that's 2 hours away, they're not going to be in tune. They're not going to be able to respond quickly. And some of those opportunities, the best deals, are going to be those that go quickly. And if you're not in a position because you're remote, you're probably not going to be able to help the buyer take advantage of that situation. Stronger negotiating power. A local mountain realtor has a strong understanding of local market dynamics. They are in tune with the up to the minute nuances of the market and better equipped to negotiate the best price and terms for a buyer. More knowledge, understanding the market area, realizing what the dynamics are, that's all very important. And that information can be translated to that buyer. The buyer using their friend or their family member from Los Angeles probably is not going to have the same level of market knowledge and understanding of the mountain community market. Access to local professionals. A local mountain realtor has established relationships with those professionals and service providers the buyer will need. Agents from out of area will have no way of knowing who to recommend, and recommending the wrong person can be costly. There are good service providers and professionals, and there are not so good ones. And the local agents, because they're working in this market area, I would have no idea who to recommend for a home inspection or a plumber or any other service provider in Tustin. I would just be grabbing at straws in order to do that. Having a local realtor that has those relationships that can help that buyer before, during, and after the transaction is completed is critical. Community insight. A local mountain realtor will provide a buyer with valuable insight that an agent from outside the community would not know about. Understanding the community vibe, schools, amenities can be crucial to a buyer's decision making. So having someone who understands, again, the culture of the area, the different nuances of the different areas on the mountain is important so that the buyer can make the best decision possible. Lower risk of misinformation. Local mountain realtor is in the know. They know things firsthand because they are in the market. Outsiders don't know things firsthand and can often deliver inaccurate advice or guidance that could negatively impact the buyer in the process and well after. Things such as whether or not the property is located and has lake rights, whether or not mail is delivered in a certain area, or any of the other nuances that happen in the market. I can't tell you how many times I hear realtors that are not familiar with the market make statements and tell buyers things that are just blatantly not true because they have no idea what they're talking about. Solving problems ahead of time, offering accurate information is all very critical to a buyer. And in most instances, the transactions don't go that great when they're dealing with someone that's out of area. As I said, I'm a local mountain realtor broker. I run Coldwell Banker Skyridge Realty. We are here and available to answer all your questions, help you as a buyer. Choose someone local. If you don't choose us, choose someone who is local to represent you. It's very important. You're going to get the best deal on the property, and you're going to walk into it eyes wide open because you're dealing with someone who knows what they're talking about firsthand.